I'm on the southern tip of the Mornington Peninsula in Victoria. It's a small rural area about an hour and a half's drive from Melbourne. Today I'm meeting Robyn Koster and Peter-Carlyon on the couple's 3-hectare farm.
I think when Peter wanted to do this new thing of farming, I decided I really want to apply myself to one thing. I want to be a really good farmer. I'd like to try to be, like learning about biodynamics, going really deep into soil management, how does that affect things? And I think at one stage I all of a sudden realized that all these things that I was learning and doing and trying to implement were actually worthless without a seed.
What started as a market garden growing food has transitioned into a farm producing high-quality seed, flowers, vegetables and herbs suited to Australian conditions to supply market gardeners and home growers. Yeah, wow. And oh my Lord, this is so beautiful as a flower garden, but of course, much more productive.
And like that doesn't look like a lettuce plant anymore. I mean, they look like little crowns, don't they?
So tell us about this crop.
So this is a lettuce called Rosencrantz. It's actually a lettuce that's been pledged to the public, so it's not a privately owned lettuce, which is wonderful. It's a natural cross that was made, and it's a crisp head, shines in the late summer, autumn. It has these beautiful variegated colored leaves, but they're around a tight ball of a head that's blanched, so you get color difference through the head. Crispy, juicy, mineral, just so yummy.
While Robyn's passion is growing seed, Peter's passion is growing the soil. A paddock that was once filled in vegetables is now covered in crops that they grow and chop down to replenish nutrients and feed the soil.
With the seed, the plants are there for a long time. We need to rest areas a lot more so that we've got food for those seed crops. And this is the way we do it with green manure. It's just a mass of food that we're trying to grow. We don't bring in additives or fertilizers and things like that, so this is our way of farming.
How important is soil to an operation like this?
There isn't anything more important, yeah. Apart from Robyn and I, like, there's nothing else. That's it, is the soil. So the whole thing revolves around that.
I would agree.
To be confident that the seed produced is true to type, strict isolation distances must be maintained. Even a neighbour with another variety nearby can contaminate the genetics of a whole seed crop. Robyn, these are pretty impressive structures. What are they for?
Peter has started creating isolation zones for us to isolate crops so that we can control pollination or cross-pollination in this case.
Wow, and so isolating to kind of protect those breeding lines?
Yes, isolating so that we can ensure that this tomato stays pure.
So they'll actually cross with other tomatoes?
So most tomatoes have self-fertile flowers,
yeah.
But especially on newer varieties or older varieties even, sometimes an insect can get in there and get some pollen stuck on it, and that pollen can be viable for quite a while, and it can go to another flower and create a cross. What we have here are 10 different breeding lines, and we're just trying to work on the truss size and the number of fruit per truss.
And is a taste test involved in this?
Oh, for sure. Definitely. You can definitely taste them.
Cheers. I love that they're sweet, but also have so much tartness to them. Really acidic, but I love that in a tomato. The couple are not just farming vegetable seeds. They produce flower seeds too, which also have to be isolated. I love the way you've used all of this native vegetation to kind of isolate some of your different crops.
It was not intended for that, but it has worked really brilliantly for that.
Yeah, wow. This looks like a field of perfection. Lots of gardeners would feel like if they managed to do this, they'd already achieved something, but you're pretty ruthless, aren't you?
You might see perfection, and I see like a lot of things that are really great and then others that are contaminating them.
And what does that mean? Like, what are you looking for in a plant like this?
This is what we're after. They're just that fluffier head. And zinnias are unusual in that if the plant goes through any stresses in its life, it will revert to something more like that. So we know it's already got the tendency to revert back to that.
Yep.
So we're really trying to ensure that what people are starting with has the genetics for this.
And then how long until you're actually seeing the results of this seed?
After we cut out in Rogue the bad ones, we then have to remove all the flowers off the good ones because they might have already been cross-pollinated, and we need to restart again.
Wow.
And so we'll restart the whole population. We still have a long season to go. We'll harvest that seed and then take it from there.
When it finally comes to collecting and sorting the seed, it's a meticulous process that takes time. Ready for more?
Great, thank you.
How long does it take you to do a job like this? I mean, it's pretty laborious.
It would take a few hours. More hands are better.
And so you're just stripping down.
You're just stripping, and it's so dry that the seed just shatters out of its little pod.
Recently, Robyn and Peter bought plans to build a winnowing machine from the United States. It offers a more streamlined approach to separating the seed. All right, I think that's ready to go.
Great.
Oh my Lord, that's pure seed there.
Yeah.
None of the rubbish. Wow.
Not only has it been a time saver, but it has increased our germination rate, so it's made us a better quality product.
But the separation doesn't stop there. Different screens of different sizes are then used to further remove debris. When you look at this is months of work, years of planning, decades of experience. What does it feel like when you look at a humble little handful of seed?
Well, there's so much potential, like that is not lost on me, is so much potential for food. But I also think we're not the only ones doing this, and we shouldn't be the only ones doing this. Like we need a lot more organic and biodynamic farmers increasing the seed market of seed that's within the public domain. It's best done as a network, you know, it's best done with lots of people involved in the whole movement of it. I see the beauty it can create. I see the food it can create. I see the societies it can feed. Like that one little seed, the potential is actually so much bigger. And I think it's that belief that that's food security, that's beautifying the world. That feels like a good contribution.